It has to be you! There's one more thing I still have to confirm. But Kirumi...
Me?
What?
Oh, so Kirumi is the culprit!
That is not yet a certainty. Let us hear her testimony first.
Is this true, Kirumi?
I cannot believe you would suspect me. If that is the case, then I will have to deny it. I will not let you make the wrong choice.
The wrong choice?
If you do believe it is me, are you prepared to stand by that decision? I will refute your accusations with all my might, for everyone's sake. I, of course, am not the culprit.
The crime was committed at nighttime. And you have no alibi, do you?
An alibi for nighttime? I believe most of us do not have one.
I have evidence that proves you're the culprit.
Do you think we would fall for such nonsense?
The trick relied on complex mechanisms to work. But someone like you could be skilled enough to pull it off.
Preposterous. That could have been done by anyone.
Kirumi is thin and has a nice body. She and Ryoma could have totally shared an inner tube.
We all could have, except perhaps Gonta. I have...
Alright, let's look at this.
Of course, am not the culprit.
The crime was committed at nighttime. And you have no alibi, do you?
An alibi for nighttime? I believe most of us do not have one.
Huh.
Oh no!
Wait a minute.
I, of course, am not the culprit.
The crime was committed at nighttime. And you have no alibi, do you?
An alibi for nighttime? I believe most of us...
Wait.
Oh no!
What the heck,
I,
dude?
of course, am not... The culprit.
The crime was committed at nighttime. And you have no alibi, do you?
An alibi for nighttime? I believe most of us...
I have evidence that proves you're the culprit.
Do you think we would fall for such nonsense?
The trick relied on complex mechanisms to work. But someone like you could be skilled enough to pull it off.
Preposterous. That could have been done by anyone.
Kirumi is thin and has a nice body. She and Ryoma could have totally shared an inner tube.
We all could have, except perhaps Gonta. I, of course, am not the culprit.
The crime was committed at nighttime. And you have no alibi, do you?
An alibi for nighttime? I believe most of us do not have one.
have evidence that proves you're the culprit.
Do you think we would fall for such nonsense?
The trick relied on complex mechanisms to work. But someone like you could be skilled enough to pull it off.
Preposterous. That could have been done by anyone.
Kirumi is thin and has a nice body. She and Ryoma could have totally shared an inner tube.
We all could have, except perhaps Gonta. I, of course, am not the culprit.
The crime was committed at nighttime. And you have no alibi, do you?
An alibi for nighttime? I believe most of us.
I'll reveal the truth! Maybe we can't prove everyone's alibi, but we can still pinpoint the culprit.
How so?
Last night, Kaito and I heard Maki speaking with Ryoma. But I haven't mentioned what happened after. Kirumi, any thoughts?
Did you return to your respective dorm rooms?
Yes, we did. But I couldn't fall asleep, so I was awake until morning, which allowed me to hear a certain sound in the night.
A certain sound?
Last night, I heard the sound of someone leaving their room and exiting the dorm. And after some time, I heard the sound of them returning.
Could it have been the culprit? But all you heard was a sound? That doesn't mean you know who made it.
Indeed, it doesn't. But I didn't hear the sound of someone going down the stairs, which must mean that whoever left has a room on the first floor. No one on the second floor left the dorm that night.
So everyone on the second floor has an alibi? You cannot determine the culprit with just that.
On the contrary, once we rule out the second floor, we know who the culprit is. Because preparing the ropeway required time to be spent in the gym. It's extremely likely that the culprit helped set up the magic show. In short, Himiko, Angie, Kaito, or Kirumi.
I see. So among the four, the only one with a room on the first floor of the dorms is...
Yes, only Kirumi.
You heard a sound, huh? Well, I hear a load of BS. But unfortunately for you, Kirumi, your time's up. We already know you're the only one capable of setting all this up. Right, Shuichi?
Right. The only person who could have prepared this murder is Kirumi. Well, the preparations in the gym in any case.
And why do you believe that?
Before the culprit could put the body into the tank, several steps needed to be taken.
Like tying the rope to the gym window and putting a partition in the piranha tank.
That's right. Ryoma's body entered the gym from the window, but that required preparation. That could only have been done when Kirumi was by herself in the gym before nighttime.
But Kirumi was alone in the gym for only like 5 minutes.
Not enough time for the whole murder, but enough time to set it up. Enough time to tie the rope on the window frame and put the pain in the piranha tank.
This is my selfless devotion! While I do understand where you are coming from, I assure you this is just a part of your petty imagination, an empty theory created from nihilism. If it were solely the rope and partition, I suppose 5 minutes might be enough time. I accept that. However, the crux of your argument is not but a guess. You continue to force the facts to conform to your misguided narrative. When you consider that the crux of your argument is your entire case falls apart.
What do you mean by crux of the argument? How is it just a guess?
I am referring to the road. Now, with that road, it is possible to reach the gym window from the third floor window, but there is no evidence to indicate that. In other words, it is just a guess. And then you add assumptions and hearsay to that. It is nothing more than deception. I am referring to the rope. Now, with that rope, it is possible to reach the gym window from the third floor, but there is no evidence to indicate this would happen. In other words, it is just a guess, and then you add assumptions and hearsay to that guess. It is nothing more than deception.
No.
I am referring to the rope. Now, with that rope, it is possible to reach the gym window from the third floor window, but there is no evidence to indicate this had happened.
I'll cut through your words! I have evidence. The abrasions left on the window frames at the gym and the lab.
Were those scratches from when the rope was tied to the window frame?
Just tying the rope to the frame wouldn't cause so much damage. The rope that was tied to the frames must have been weighed down significantly. The frames didn't break, but they were left with distinct marks.
Those scratches are proof that you used a rope to carry the body to the windowsill.
Oh? What's wrong, Kirumi? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Hey, what's wrong? Hey, 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 hey!
Is Kirumi quiet?
Please answer us, Kirumi.
If it is for my sake, then it would be much easier to forfeit. But I cannot allow that, because I must do this for everyone! I have a duty and a responsibility, so I refuse to surrender.
Hey, Kirumi, who exactly is this everyone you're talking about? I've just got a weird feeling about this. When you said everyone, it felt like you weren't talking about us. It felt like you were talking about someone who isn't here.
Someone who isn't here?
Someone outside of the academy?
Hey, do you think Kirumi saw her own motive video?
Huh? The motive video?
You saw your important someone in danger, so you committed murder, right?
Is that true?
I am so sorry for making such a mess. Because of that, I made all of you assume something unnecessary.
Unnecessary?
You saying I'm wrong? This everyone you're talking about?
It is all of you, of course.
Really? Do you swear to a tour?
Yes, really. So please believe me, I am not the culprit. I do not care what becomes of me, but I will not allow any of you to die. Because I made a promise to Kaede. She wished for all of us to escape together. I want to fulfill my duties as the ultimate maid. I wish to serve everyone. So please believe me. You have to!
Kirumi!
Are we totally sure Kirumi's the culprit? Maybe it's someone else. Are we sure Kokichi isn't the culprit?
How rude.
Gonta just can't believe Kirumi would kill Ryuma.
Kirumi's breakfasts were the best. She always treated us so well. She really is like a mom.
Perhaps it was after she gained our trust that she saw her chance to strike.
You really are screwed up. Screwed up from head to toe. Even through your clothes, I can tell.
Shuichi, please reconsider suspecting me as the culprit. You only suspect me because I was at the gym during nighttime yesterday, correct? But you cannot accuse me of being the culprit with that insufficient proof. It is still possible for Maki and Kaito to have gone to the gym. They do not have alibis. They could have pretended to help Himiko, but secretly prepared the murder.
When you put it that way. We can't accuse Kirumi just based on our alibis.
Guys, Maybe suspecting Kirumi is wrong.
Yeah, maybe we should think it over one more time.
I made a promise. As the ultimate detective, I made a promise to Kaede.
So you still believe I am the culprit? But there is no evidence to indicate that I am—
No, there is. I have proof that you're the culprit. I realized it when we determined that the rope weight was used to move the body. If it was indeed Kirumi who moved the body with a makeshift rope weight, then the final clue falls into place.
The final clue?
The damning evidence that proves Kirumi is the culprit.
Shuichi, won't you please tell me why you are so desperate to pin me as the culprit? Don't you want to protect everyone?
I'm doing this because I want to protect everyone. Shuichi.
Then you're wrong!
Your words aren't going to convince me now.
All you care about is your own reasoning. You don't even listen to others. I can't bet everyone's lives on a deduction made by a self-righteous brat. You can't save anyone!
This is it! The piece of black fabric in the pool. That's the final clue that proves you're guilty. It's been bothering me for a while. I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought it was just trash at first. But I couldn't now that the class trial has come this far. I know for certain. It's an important piece of the puzzle, because like the inner tube, it's evidence the culprit couldn't dispose of.
Huh? Why not?
Using the rope weight, you could slide the inner tube from the lab to the gym. But how would you control it? If it kept sliding and hit the window, the momentum would have thrown the body off. To prevent that from happening, the culprit needed some way to adjust the speed. For example, the culprit could have used their hands for friction.
Yeah, so what? You're still wrong. Your logic is flawed.
Kirumi, why are you becoming increasingly erratic?
There is such absolute beauty in trying to fight against the truth.
What? Truth. That black cloth is just trash. You can't prove I'm the culprit with just that.
No, it's not just trash. It's proof that you're the culprit.
You are incorrect. What is this truth? That is just your empty deduction. You continue to confuse everyone. You are incorrect. What is this truth? That is just your empty deduction. You continue to confuse everyone. Ah! In this class trial, everyone's life is at stake. Because of your self-righteous truth, everyone might die! In this class trial, everyone's life is at stake! Because of your self-righteous truth, everyone might die! Ah! I completely understand your reasoning, but I will never accept it. It seems you wish to pin me as the culprit. You do not have any evidence. You are only providing us with speculation. You only wish to protect everyone. Why must you interfere? I completely understand your reasoning, but I will never accept it. It seems you wish to pin me as the culprit. You do not have any evidence. You are only providing us with speculation.
Oh my god.
Why must you interfere? I completely understand your reasoning, but I will never accept it. It seems
Yeah, I
you
don't know
wish to
these
me as the
buttons.
culprit. You do not have any evidence. You are only
Jesus.
providing us with speculation. Ah! What does that piece of trash prove?
Wrong way.
I understand your reasoning, but I will never accept it. Ah! What does that piece of trash prove?
It ends here!
Okay, why was she naked like that?
The piece of fabric came from Kirumi's black glove.
Kirumi's glove?
If the culprit were slowing their descent by grabbing the rope with their hands, there would have been a lot of friction, easily enough to cause rope burn. But our culprit was smart. They weren't burned because they weren't bare-handed.
Yeah, the culprit had gloves on. One got all torn up from the friction and...
Fell into pool?
From what I remember, the only one who wears black gloves is Kirumi, right?
The gloves on your hands now. I take it they're from your dorm?
The extra uniforms in our rooms are made of the same material we're wearing now. You can test my theory by comparing the fabric scrap with your glove.
Well, Kirumi, will you allow us to compare the black fabric we found in the pool with your gloves?
Huh? What's the matter?
Kirumi, what's wrong?
I will show you the truth.
All right. What? Oh, the handcuffs. It's like none of this. Is it not the inner tube? What are the other ones? That's not it. It's not this. I totally thought it was this. How is it not that?
Is this... We can't let it...
Alright, that's dumb. But do I not have these open? Okay, I don't. Oh, god damn it. Inner tube. That's so lame.
This is the truth of the case! The victim's body was found this morning during Himiko's underwater escape act. When we saw the piranhas in the tank, we thought that Himiko's escape failed. Of course, it was all part of the act. Himiko's escape went perfectly. But when Angie opened the curtain in front of the tank, we saw Ryoma with piranhas swarming around him. Before any of us could react, the piranhas devoured Ryoma's body. And all that was left were his bones and the handcuffs he was wearing. That horrifying sight was the finishing touch on the culprit's own twisted magic trick. The culprit obfuscated the time and place of the murder, implicating Himiko in the process. In truth, the crime began last night around 8:55 p.m. While preparing for the show in the gym, the culprit had a chance to be alone. It was then that the culprit used the ladder to reach the piranha tank and removed the glass lid to put inside the tank. They used it as a partition to force the piranhas to one side of the tank. Next, the culprit took the rope from the stage wing in the gym and used the ladder once more, this time to climb up to the gym's window. Once there, they opened the window and tied one end of the rope to the window frame. The rope was then thrown out the window toward the pool. These preparations were key for the culprit's elaborate plan. At nighttime, past midnight, the culprit asked Ryoma to meet at his lab. All the pieces were in place. The culprit was ready to murder. First, the culprit knocked Ryoma out, probably striking him from behind. Then, they put the handcuffs from the shower room on Ryoma's wrists. And shoved his head into the sink filled with water. From the water and the pain of drowning, Ryoma should have woken up and struggled. The culprit anticipated his resistance, which is why Ryoma was handcuffed. The struggle left scrapes on the cuffs and sink, but in the end, Ryoma succumbed. Ryoma was dead, but the culprit's plan had only just begun. They removed the cable from the tennis net and hung it from the window facing the pool. And then, at the pool, they connected the wire and the rope from the gym window. They returned to the lab after picking up one last thing. The rubber inner tube that was in the pool's tool shed. Once back in the lab, the culprit pulled the cable, bringing up the rope. They pulled until the rope was taut, then tied it to the lab's window frame. And thus, the gym and the lab windows were connected by a single rope. After making a hanger of sorts with another length of rope tied to the inner tube, they hung the inner tube on the rope connecting the windows. That's how the culprit created the ropeway that was used to move the body. An impressive premeditated murder, but the culprit made two crucial mistakes. The culprit got on the inner tube with Ryoma's body and slid toward the gym. With the height difference between the windows, they would have built up quite some speed. To avoid crashing through the window, the culprit used a brake. They used their own hand to grip the rope and slow down. That would have caused significant rope burn had the culprit not been wearing gloves. But due to the friction, part of a glove tore off and dropped in the pool. Regardless, the culprit reached the window and put Ryoma's body into the piranha tank. The glass pane not only kept the piranhas and the body separated, it also kept the piranhas so close together, they concealed the body. After that, all the culprit had to do was untie the rope and the inner tube. But that's when they made their second mistake. One end of the rope came loose, and the inner tube dropped into the pool. Thus, the culprit was forced to leave two key pieces of evidence, the fabric and the inner tube. They couldn't retrieve the evidence because of the rule against swimming at nighttime. And that's the whole story. Am I wrong, Kirumi Tojo? The ultimate maid? Kirumi, that's the conclusion I reached. Do you have any objections?
This is very, very unfortunate, Shuichi. My pride as a maid demands that I fulfill every request that I receive. But to end like this...
Does that mean you admit it?
Kirumi.
Why use your own gloves, though? The warehouse should have had plenty.
There weren't any. Obviously, she would have used them if they were available. Jeez, Monokuma provided everything but the gloves. That's pretty sadistic. But thanks to him, at least the game became way more interesting.
So,
This case was decided the moment someone, who shall not be named,
We don't know that. Maybe the... That is right. No.
Oh, Monodem, you're like a mommy taking care.
all right, the heart-racing excitement as the blackened and the spotless finally face off. Now then, it seems the voting has finished. Let who'll be chosen as the blackened?
Someone voted for me. Who was that?
Oh my!
Thank goodness.
You gotta be kidding me!
Yeah,
Wait! Yoo-hoo! The truth is,
Hey!
Damn it.
no way!
Shut up!
Say,
How?
No.
what? What's wrong?
I do not agree.
Damn.
Please!
Understood. I shall take that request.
Well, you know.
Yes, that is correct.
What are you saying?
May I?
Hey!
Yes.
The fuck's going on? Huh? No. Oh!
Huh?
Dumbass!
Eh?
I'm sorry.
No!
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah! Daddy!
Hey, Father!
Hey. What? You stupid...
Will now.
I see.
Oh, I see.
Hey!
What's wrong?
Yes.
So,
That's right!
All right! Back by popular demand, it's time for the motive video! Who's the most important person in your life? Kirumi Tojo, the ultimate maid. With clients in politics and finance, this elite maid is renowned for completing any request. One fateful day, she was suddenly summoned by one of her most influential clients. The Prime Minister had a request of utmost importance. He requested that she use her talent as the ultimate maid to serve her country. He asked Kirumi to make this country great again and transferred all his authority to her. No one suspected that the Prime Minister's new secretary was secretly running the country, and over time, she became the de facto Prime Minister. Only Kirumi could save the country from impending doom. Yes, the future of the country rests entirely on her capable shoulders. But Kirumi is up to the task, for she only accepts requests that only she can fulfill. She is driven by the belief that her citizens are the most important people in her life. Oh, and while we're on the subject of those important people, an unfortunate event will soon befall those vermin and sheeple. What event, you ask? It's a secret.
Huh? What?
Yes.
Wait!
What is this? I do not agree. This is myself. I was called upon to lift the country out of a dire situation. I swore to serve and help all its citizens. As the ultimate maid, I have advised politicians many times in the past, but he wanted me to prioritize saving the country from an unprecedented crisis. I fully accepted this request. As a maid, it is a great honor to serve the nation itself.
What did I
I see.
do? Huh?
You really don't get it.
How rude!
I see.
But
Actually. Yoo-hoo!
I do not know.
That's...
That is correct.
Huh?
I do not know. This is my selfless devotion. My apology.
If so...
But
I don't like that. Why?
wait!
Always messing around.
There's two. Hey,
Huh? 100%.
What are you trying?
cuz. Shing!
Shut up!
Oh, dang it!
Oh, I see.
That is...
Huh? Weird!
I do not agree. Do you agree?
Huh?
That is... That is correct.
Got it. You're...
And then, at that moment, a person like him would have noticed my bloodthirst emanating. He forfeited his life right then and there. That is correct.
Then,
But
What?
because...
What are you talking?
wait! Huh?
Well, you know...
I told you. Why? What?
Yeah. But
Hey,
no. Gee.
In other words, please.
That's true.
Well, you know.
Hey!
Ah.
Huh?
Okie dokie.
All right! Back by who's the most important person in your life? This message is for Ryoma Hoshi. Unfortunately, there is no one in the world who is important to you. I'm so sorry. Really, I am. You have my deepest sympathies. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Always messing around.
I see.
Damn!
But, because.
Yes. For everyone. My apologies.
You need some.
Hey!
Huh?
Gonta!
Unfortunately.
Gee.
Huh?
Oh, man.
Shuichi!
Huh?
Hey! All right! Listen up. I mean, don't worry about it. Of course!
Jeez.
But so divine!
Shut up!
But.
Huh?
Because.
Huh?
But.
You mean?
Really?
Cut it out.
That is correct. You must live.
Huh?
I see.
You must live. I will survive! I have to escape.
Damn!
Hey,
I will live
now then, I've prepared a special punishment.
for my nation, for my people.
Let's give it everything we've got.
I will not die!
Bye-bye.
Really? Well,
It's okay. It's fine.
yeah?
Let's get a. We are. I will not.
Huh?
Wonderful.
There's. How horrible!
Stop it!
I don't like that.
I'll protect you.
Come on, cause Atua says so.
I see, yes.
That's true.
Okay,
Hey,
Of course!
however... That's...
huh?
I see.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
it's a lie. Because
You're right.
That's right.
For now,
You're right.
Why, you! I won't forgive you!
It'll be okay. What's wrong?
But... Why?
Hey, so,
Okay,
hey,
huh?
what is it?
you get it?
Huh?
What?
Ah. Well, you know.
Huh?
Which means
Hold on!
Hmm.
You know, this is an interesting turn of events. Would you really kill me in front of everyone?
Hey, Maki! What the hell's going on?
Yeah, you can probably snap my neck like a twig right now, but that's not your style. You would rather kill from the shadows, right, Miss Ultimate Assassin?
Alrighty, guys, that was pretty awesome. Huh. And now somebody is not who they said they were. That is not predictable at all. But that was pretty cool. I had no idea who it was up until all the hints and everything fell into place. So that's cool. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time in Chapter 3. Later.